Bravo, We're Black. And I was so excited to do this episode. I still am because of who I have here. If you're watching the video part, got my cousin. But like I am very somber like at the beginning of this episode because I just found out that Burrell has passed away. And if y'all know, Aaron is more of like the Food Network gossiper. So if anything is going on within the Food Network, like, you know, people who steal husbands over there, but it's a lot of Food Network tea that goes around. But Burrell is just like, she's like the female Guy Fieri. Like, she has the same hair as him almost. She was on almost every season of like Worst Cooks. I love that woman down. I was actually upset that she wasn't on the last season of Worst Cooks, and she commented on it, and she was saying like, you know, she didn't know why she wasn't on there either. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna have to bring her back for next season. I go on my phone, honey, and I find out that Burrell has passed away, and I am so upset. But I have my motherfucking cousin, Taylor Crumpton, here, and this is the second time that we've had Taylor here, and Taylor has been pimping all over the world, honestly. You've been in Time, you've been in Essence, you've been in so many like literary but like in print, but also in online. Like, you're working on your own two books right now, so much so that you ain't got time for nothing else. But what we're going to talk about, which is Love Island, like, you are actually on fire. When I read anything with your name on it, it's usually about Beyoncé, and it's so good. From, you know, the fact that Beyoncé has always been country, to a bunch of other things. And I'm just so happy to have you back here so we can talk shop even more and you can redeem yourself, because last time they were like, oh my God, there's so much background noise. And I'm like, can y'all stop acting bougie? Like, please. It's Taylor Crumpton here with me. Like, thank you for coming and talking to me, because we are celebrating 5 years of Bravo, We're Black. And it's so dope to have you here. Thank you. It's so dope to have you here. It's so dope to see how much you've accomplished. And, you know, I see you in the social media streets, and I say hi when I can, because, you know, I follow a bunch of people. I'm very nosy also. So, you know, but I do try to support when I can. Taylor, first of all, how the heck are you?
I am so happy. Number one, you are my cousin. I love all of my cousins. Bravo Black cousins, Bravo Black bisexual cousins, because happy Pride. I am just happy to, you know, be on the phone on this platform with you, talking about Love Island USA and all of our favorite things. And to make a redemption, I do apologize, y'all. Last time we spoke,
No,
I was recording at my father's house. No, it's okay. I was recording at my father's house, being a hustling journalist. But thankfully, all the work that I've done, I'm recording to you live from my own apartment. So it is gift to me.
You ate that up. She's from her own apartment, okay? And honestly, it be noise in my background too. So, because I have a roommate, and I be having my mama over, and you know what? Like, this is life. We are chilling here. Like, that's the vibe of this podcast, is always going to be chill. Even when I am here with you now, you will see I'm on my couch. When I do my solo episodes, y'all see I am on my couch. This is even if we eventually like somehow get a studio, there's going to be a couch in the studio, because I always want the vibe of the podcast is that people feel comfortable and we are just having a kickback, and I'm buzzing with my motherfucking cousins, okay? So, who obviously is the Wednesday pop culture episode, but I want to let you guys know this is Wednesday before Love Island airs, okay? In a few hours, actually about 3 hours, there's going to be a new episode of Love Island, which is gonna have like a recoupling. I don't know. I might have to pop into Raven's episode to give my opinions on that, or y'all might have to wait for Black After Sun, which I'm doing. But I'm so happy to have you here now because I have been following you on Threads while you talk about Love Island. But before we get into all that, who is your Black Excellence of the Week?
My Black Excellence of the Week goes to Riri Williams, which for those who are not familiar with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Marvel at all, she is in the comics and the upcoming series Ironheart, which will air on Disney Plus, the inheritor and spiritual successor of Tony Stark. I think it's so beautiful that the whole entire world is going to be exposed to the Black female genius of a Black girl from the South Side of Chicago being like the inheritor to like all of this technological genius. From what I've seen in the grapevine, which means like the Marvel subreddit pages and
Yeah.
the leakers, she's gonna be like a really key figure moving forward in Marvel. And you know, with the hidden misses that have been happening with Black characters in Marvel and outside, I'm just really excited to see a Black woman. She also has like a best friend that's a Black woman who's a witch. So like I'm really excited to see us get like more stakehold in the MCU and pop culture after all. So my Black excellence goes to that. And also love them because I am a recent, Chicago resident. So I really have to go up for them.
Shoutout is in the MFN house, okay? From the Pope to the new Iron Man to one of the best journalists on the planet, Chi-Town is literally repping right now.
Listen, for context, everyone, I am from Dallas, Texas. We all know this. However, my granny's people is from Mississippi, and Chicago is nothing but northern Mississippi. And I do have cousins on the south side. So I like to check because, people always like to be like, hey, I understand. I see y'all. I see me. We all come from the south. So I really ain't got much else to say about that.
Rep your set, period. Like, simple. I'm glad that you broke it on down. Yeah, I think that we should definitely get into that. Okay, so I just wanted to say that my Black excellence is going to be Anne Burrell. Girl, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss me some Anne Burrell. All right, my chest. Send one up for Anne Burrell. And I wasn't going to drink tonight, but now I have a reason to. I miss Anne Burrell. I do. I truly do. So, okay, you just brought up Ironheart, and at first, I was on Marvel's ass because where was the promotion? Where was the trailer? This has been, if you guys don't know, this has been filmed since like 2022. Okay, after Wakanda Forever. So we're talking a while now. And then I follow Black Girl Nerds, which is a great blog, a great social media to follow if you are on the nerdy side of pop culture. They cover everything over there. And they pointed out that the trailer for Ironheart was not released. Like, okay, the trailer for Agatha All Along had like, I don't know, it was like 83 days or something. The trailer for something else was released 100 and something days ahead of time. We had to literally kind of like, I don't think it was us, but we were starting to bully Marvel like, hey, where's the trailer? Because we need time properly to get the buzz going. And I do think that since this is going to be a show produced by Ryan Coogler, who made Sinners, I think that, thank God, this would have been a show that's kind of just got swallowed up. But since Ryan has been on the tip of so many people's tongue lately, especially with Sinners, we are getting pretty lucky. And they released that trailer. And since they released that trailer, they've been releasing teasers and teaser trailers and trailer teasers and all kinds of stuff. I've seen on Good Morning America, Dominique Thorne, the actress that plays Riri Williams, and Anthony Ramos, he's going to be playing someone in the show too, got a special Shoutout and call in from Robert Downey Jr., who is no longer Iron Man. Okay, he's gone. Iron Man's dead. This is for the white men who need to know. Iron Man, he's dead. He's gone. Riri's here. Okay? He's Doctor Doom. Sorry. It is what it is. They need to hear that. And so when Robert Downey Jr. called in to GMA to give his blessing, I was like, thank God. So the 40-year-old black, non-black people on the internet can stop saying there's only one Iron Man is dead. You got your dude back. You got Robert Downey Jr. back. He is now Doctor Doom. He called in. He congratulated Dominique Thorne. He congratulated Anthony Ramos and made a little joke about how he hopes that he's not coming for Doctor Doom. Like, we are moving on. We're in a new era of Marvel right now. The premiere is the 24th, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are dropping a 3-episode premiere. Will you be able to tune in to the 3-episode premiere, like to live thread it, or are you gonna like kind of like save it to savor it?
I like Threads because it reminds me of like those early Twitter days when we all turned into like one certain moment and like discussed it in real time. So I'm going to try my best, but also it kind of comes to this collision and clash. Are we going to, for the people, take one night off of people as people of the African diaspora and Black people to ensure that we are engaging in critical conversations online around Ironheart, which it seems like we're going to do. It seems like we will give Love Island USA a day off and then, you know, do what we have to do on Disney Plus and then come back to the villa. I feel like that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, let me see when the 24th is also.
I'm looking as well.
Oh no, I wish it was the 25th because it would have been so easy.
Why?
Because you know that Love Island is every day but hump day. Or if Saturday isn't good. So if it was the 25th, it would have been perfect. But I don't think that they even anticipated, you know, all of this. But I will absolutely be taking the night off, watching all 3 episodes, threading, and like Summer None Other from Batty said, I'll be buzzing with my motherfucking cousins and we'll be talking about Riri Williams. I really don't know much about this character other than like what I saw on Black Panther. So I'm excited to explore what she's doing after the events of Black Panther 2. But for like people who don't really know about Riri Williams, could you give them just like an elevator pitch on like who her character is?
Yeah, to be quite brief, because there's a lot of mythology and lore around her. Riri Williams is the smartest person in the world. In the MCU, Tony Stark is her mentor in the form of AI. She also goes to MIT, which is Tony Stark's alma mater. And while she's at MIT, she is trying to, like Tony, create a suit of armor. Except you see, because of, you know, how she was born and raised and the experiences that are very unique to her as a Black girl from the South Side of Chicago, she does not have the access and resources like Tony Stark did, who, you know, is the son of a billionaire and was a weapons defense contractor. So you see her have to be a little bit more innovative and ingenious about getting these materials and resources. And from what we know of this series that will air on Disney Plus, she engages in theft, and that's the interaction with the hood, is that they are, you know, stealing from those, but also the stealing isn't just kind of like your white collar, blue collar crime. There is also magic involved. So some people are saying that this is going to be a little tie between Agatha all along, but also Doctor Strange, and then helping her kind of be that in between, and like the more mystical characters, like Blade allegedly is going to be in the Avengers, and they've been allegedly looking at like Ghost Rider and doing like all the supernatural stuff. So if the rumors are true, she will have a really heavy presence in the next chapter of the MCU. So, if nothing else, for people who've been keeping up with it since the first Iron Man, I think we should be tuned in because I can't stand when folks don't watch the shows that are like predominantly woman led or predominantly of color. And they're like, oh, like,
They
I'm
hate it.
just not going to pay attention. And it's like, WandaVision has set up everything thus far. So that is me on my soapbox of why you should watch it, why it matters, and also Happy Pride. I don't know if there's going to be a queer character in there, but I'm going to say just because there might be.
Hey, we're all a little gay.
I believe no one is inherently straight. I will say that till the day I die. I think we're all on the spectrum of queerness because if y'all haven't been watching this season of Love Island USA, if it was possible to vote Sierra and Shelly into a couple,
Absolutely.
I would do so in a heartbeat.
That's the real vote that we should have had available. Thank you so much for that little, not even little, that big, like, great summary of the Riri Williams character. And you know what? Even if she doesn't usher all these new people and characters into the MCU, I can guarantee you that this is going to be some shit we ain't never seen before. Like the trailer, she's working on some, like an Iron Man suit 2.0. She's got Anthony Ramos there. She's got the fine man from Good Girls. I forgot his name, but he's real fine. Wow, he's real fun. I think this is only 6 episodes though, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm not
I think that they're doing 3 episodes and then they're doing 3 more episodes after. But either way, I will be tuned in on time. I will be talking about it. I really don't know the lore of comic book characters. You know, Kendrick used to do a lot of covering of the Marvel, and I like to tease him and be like, he used to do a lot of Marvel stuff, a lot of DC stuff, a lot of nerdy stuff. So hopefully Kendrick can be bullied out of retirement in order to talk about Riri Williams and the Iron Man of it all. I'm looking at the shapes and all that stuff. I'm like, are these the things from WandaVision? Like, what's going on? He's going to dust off that Marvel encyclopedia that he had. He's going to break it down for us. And I just am so excited for this new era because I'll be honest with y'all, I'm gonna watch Fantastic Four because that's just how I am, but I'm not really that excited. Like I like Pedro Pascal, but what the fuck you know about the Fantastic Four? Like I, like in general, Fantastic Four, like they don't move me. When you're like Reed Richards, I'm like, oh, the dude from The Office that got turned into spaghetti. That's who I know him as.
Screaming. I mean, the Fantastic Four in pop culture, like for people who loved an early 2000 camp, you had the Jessica Alba, as like Sue Storms with her cute little 613 hair color that she ate in. And then you had like the kind of gritty early 2000 teens where like Michael B. Jordan was the Human Torch with really, when you look at the story, it's like, oh, all right, not all these pieces made sense. So I think this is like the redemption arc it needed because the first time was like, okay,
you're starting, yeah.
It's the 2000s. We're still working on technology. 2010s was like, I feel like a lot of chefs had a hand in this pot and the gumbo isn't tasting good because why is there cabbage in it? So I'm hoping this time around, everything's good, all cylinders. And if not, Pedro's fine ass is going to be there seducing a woman in our face. If nothing else fails, put Pedro with a woman and he will love her and defend her. I saw Materialist. Okay? That man was beautiful.
Oh, I need to see that one. I cannot wait to go see that.
There is nothing he cannot do. He is the father figure that we need, the daddy of a generation. And I will be there in the seats for him.
Go stand by him. and we'll stand beside him.
That's
And
my
I
man.
love a man who speaks up and speaks against all of that is going on, and supports. I think his sister is trans, right?
Yes, and she is gorgeous.
She is stunning.
Let me tell you, if nothing else, happy Pride. You better go out there and you better support and put your dollars into someone who really deserves
They
it.
parents went off. Like, how you got Pedro, who's fine, then the girl is fine. That's kind of like what the Efron parents did. Because and recently, happy Father's Day, I was looking at y'all daddies, and wow, the Efron daddy, real fine.
Listen,
Fine. Hallelujah.
We give thanks. We give thanks for fine parents and fine children that have good hearts. Because as we like seen in this latest season of Love Island USA, some of y'all are very beautiful on paper, but what did they used to say in grade school? Not beautiful within. True beauty comes from within. Within.
And with that being said, let us lead into Love Island USA. I just want to start by saying it's too early for think pieces. I've been seeing them. I am annoyed. I'm here for hot takes. I'm here for different opinions, but think pieces I don't want to hear. It's too early. People are talking about how, oh, you guys did all this. You guys broke up a perfectly good couple because you didn't want them to be together. And then now Charlie has to go home in America. You guys did the worst thing ever. And I'm just like, no, I exercised my right as an American to vote for who the fuck I wanted to see break up on Love Island. And it came at the expense of Charlie. But what the fuck did Charlie ever do for me? Nothing but complain about how he didn't have anyone in the house. And on top of that, the very same episode, he was trying to hook up with Amaya because Hannah literally talked to Pepe. So Hannah was going to be fine. I don't feel bad. I do it again. I vote the same way. I also see a lot of discourse around we ruined Huda's mental health. I'm not responsible for Huda's mental health. And if this was, let's just say this is like a month or 5 weeks into the competition, then I maybe will feel a little bit bad. Again, this was 2 weeks into the competition, and I am not responsible for her mental health for 2 weeks. And again, if they wanted to be together so bad, they had option A, leave together and live happily ever after. Fuck the money. Option B, they could have slept together in soul ties. Someone said that they can't sleep together in soul ties because soul ties was occupied by Ace. Huda could have switched with Ace, and Ace could have slept in Huda's bed, and they could have slept in soul ties. Or they could have simply chilled the fuck out and talked that night or the next day. But now everyone is just like, oh, look at what America has done. Oh, look at what you've done to Jeremiah. Look at what you've done to Huda. Look at what you've done. And I'm just like, can we talk about the real thing here, which is who is Shelly going to actually end up with? Who is Alandria going to end up with? Let's talk about the real shit that I care about. I don't care about being responsible, quote unquote, for Huda's mental health deteriorating. No, because if she's acting like that, she acting like that because that's how she acts. Because it's only been 2 weeks. I don't have much to do with it. And I stand on it. All 10 toes and 10 fingers, too. Now, what do you think about, obviously, the chaos that has happened over the last 2 days?
I would love for all of us to remember it is week 2 of a show that airs every single day except Wednesday. We all have to take a beat at a moment. And I understand that because of the critical response to last season, that there's an incentive for people to go online and be like, oh, I just saw this and it reminds me of this. And I'm seeing a lot of discourse that is trying to portray Ace as an incel. And Ace is this example of misogyny. And Ace is exemplifying misogynoir and Ace is a colorist. And I understand, like, as someone who writes about reality TV through the lens of like race and gender and power and class, I understand how reality TV is a microcosm for everything we experience in society. Last season was so great because it showed the struggles of Black women trying to date in the United States. That is the reason why it blew up and broke into consciousness across the United States last year, is because we allowed the islanders to just be, and then we took time to invest in them and be like, oh, it is very telling that Connor treated Janae this way. It is very telling that Kendall said these certain comments about Serena whenever she was just being emotional because she was heartbroken. We have yet to reach that place in this season. There has been no type of significant event or interaction between the Islanders to warrant hot takes online and on social media discourse, even with Huda. And now, I looked up last year, there's a therapist on site. Leah brought her up several times in interviews. As someone who's a formerly trained social worker, bachelor's of social work, master's of social work, I truly do hope someone on production is taking her to meet with the therapist. Because like also Love Island UK, there's a history of Islanders then experiencing some really negative mental health repercussions. So like I'm not going to go online like so many people are who were messaging her baby daddy, who were talking ill will and hatred over her daughter. That's where I think this season is like starting to lose the plot for me, where it feels like every single day and night and episode, people are forgetting that yes, these are Islanders, but yes, there is some type of humanity that should be there, because I just think that's how we should kind of like remember these shows, Bravo included. All that being said, Austin and Shelley, I need a bombshell to come in tonight. I need a bombshell for Shelley. I like Jalen and all and only I like them, but also like I'm the byproduct of like two country people from the South. Like my dad's family's from Mississippi, my mom's family's from Texas, my dad was in Future Farmers of America. I love a country Black love affair, so you're not gonna get me like on a no. And I did vote, maybe the only person in America who did so, for Pepe to be with Amaya, because like I do think that Amaya, and if someone were to write a think piece or essay, but as a journalist, please wait on that for the love of God and all that is holy. If how she is really being like devalued and not prioritized in the house, like I think if there's anything to be said, Amaya is not all the way deserving of what she is experiencing right now. Like, and was I someone who enjoyed the doc scene where one of my friends on Twitter described it as Stevie J and Jocelyn Hernandez from Love and Hip Hop on the Villa? I did. Listen, you cannot throw a rock against me. I have already been there and said it. I don't think that negates her having a terrible experience where we're seeing her kind of cry about her feeling undesirable because like no one's really prioritizing her. I blame this really on Yulissa. I think that that was the culprit behind all of these fractures that America is kind of trying to fix with the public votes, because if Yulissa didn't pick Ace, Ace could have picked Shelley and we'd be in a different timeline in reality. But here we are trying to, with every public vote, be like, no, Huda and Jeremiah, we weren't trying to save you. We are trying to break you up. That's how I feel. I'm so concerned about like Huda being a 24-year-old single mom and like having to leave the island and seeing these things and then being like, ooh. That's what, yeah. My heart is kind of like growing for her in that aspect. Do I think she's a good partner for Jeremiah? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Also, maybe because I was raised in the South, all this cussing every single Damn day. Can someone send a dictionary to the villa? I will send it to Fiji myself. There are other words in the English language that I need her to do. But also, PBG works so well because they checked each other. So, like, I know every girl is like, grace abounds and, be with someone who prioritizes you and invest in you. I too love every type of rose gold affirmation that was sold in the early 2020s. Live your best life, queen. Do your daily affirmations. However, if no one's going to check Huda from like a peer-to-peer perspective, I don't want it to then turn into a place where, kind of like what Ace and Nick were saying, where like people are being unauthentic because they're afraid of you. And I do think there is something to be said that if Shelly or a Black female islander was acting in that tone, then it would be, oh, she's all type of aggressive. Oh, you should be fearful. You should be threatening. So there's like a lot of things going on that all kind of have their like just due in conversation. But I'm just hoping that some ancestor of theirs comes in a dream, or some peacock flies, or is on, peacocks can't fly, Lord forgive me, but some bird like a dove is like, hey y'all, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, please do something, mix it up a little bit.
I put on Threads, how do we send a Morse code message to the villa? Like, is Ariana checking her DMs?
You know she is, because she's very active online. She is a Nickelandria stan. And I wish, and she talks about this in press interviews. She's like, I can't interject my opinion. I think she did the best example of it is when she was asking those follow-up questions to Huda, like, why do you think America thinks it? Because in the back of her head, she was like,
reflect.
I'm trying to like not let you know what's going on, but if you read my mind in the context clues that we all did in elementary school, you in danger, girl.
And I also want to say that maybe I wouldn't change my vote, but maybe I think that Huda and Jeremiah are both terrible people, and maybe they do deserve each other after all. But with that being said, they will not be winning. I don't like the way that, when me and my homegirls get together, like, I'm definitely calling people all kinds of PABs. But he wasn't meant to hear that. So for him to be like, oh, well, maybe she should have went home, that really shook me when he said that, because I'm not innocent. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, because that was crazy of her to act like that. Like, that, watch your mouth. What? That is someone's son. Like, what are you doing right now? And you haven't even talked to him. Y'all haven't had no kind of communication. And you're telling, like, she told Amaya, you are the prize. These men don't deserve. She gave Amaya the best speech. And I said it. I was like, because I thought what was going to happen, which could still happen, was that they were going to go to Casa Amor and Jeremiah was going to show his ass. And that's how they would end. In an ideal world, that's what had happened for me. But that's what I said. I was like, when Jeremiah goes to Casa Amor and he shows his ass, Huda, I want you to remember these words. You are the prize, and like, don't act this way. So those words that she instilled into Amaya, I want her to use them for herself. I understand that she is mad. I understand that she's all over the place. Like, her waking up Taylor to be like, hey, y'all, you know that the bombshells are on a date right now. That was so petty, but also I'm realizing that's something that I would also do, so maybe I'm a problem. I just don't want to see this play out on TV. It's just like, okay, now it's the Jeremiah and Huda show, and I didn't want to make it that. I just wanted to break them up, and I thought that what would happen is they would either A, get a little bit mad about it and then decide to explore and then find their way back to each other, or not, or B, they would be like, oh, screw America, I still like I would still like him, and we're still just going to be together. But all this is just okay. Well, now we have less camera time for everyone else, and like, and then as far as Amaya, her dramatics, I want to see her on Beauty in Black. If you guys don't know what Beauty in Black is, it's it is a great show on Netflix, written and executive produced by Tyler Perry. But she's auditioned for Beauty in Black. I just think that she's just a Dominican chick. Like, I don't know if she's from New York, but she just seems like Cardi B, like Team Cardi B. Like, that's just their personality. That's just how they are. So, like, all of the hate, it was just like, Amaya, girl. I will say though, like, when she stares with her green eyes, it does give me a little bit of the Miley Cyrus like staring tool.
Oh yeah, they're
But like,
delicious.
that's just how she is. She's just being herself. Um, yeah. So like all the think pieces so early, it's taking the fun out of it. And if y'all think it's bad, like on Threads, and I'm not on Twitter, but on Twitter, it's 10 times worse on Facebook because Facebook allows you 7 million characters. And they're like they're zooming in on Huda's hands and saying, "What's wrong with her knuckles? Did she punch something?" Like they're putting stuff that is not there. They have theories about what's on Nick's lip. Like, there's just so much going on Facebook, and I'm like, can we watch the show? Can we do that?
What I was so fearful of last season, I think a lot of people have been keeping up with the US version that I think people forget originally was not on Peacock. I believe it was on,
Yes.
yeah, it was on a lesser known network, no tea, no shade, and no tea, no shade to all of my friends who are writers on shows like that. But we all knew that when Ariana Madix came on, fresh off of post Scandival, new casting, all of these things, all the eyes were going to be on it. Understand and love that. However, people are forgetting, and for those who are not familiar, reality TV programs, as someone who's writing a book on Black women in reality TV, since their inception, have had contestants who have then experienced some really troubling, challenging mental health issues that have lasted a lifetime, and some of those people are no longer with us because of their participation on reality TV. And I just want us to keep that in mind, like when we're discussing Huda, Jeremiah. Do I believe that Jeremiah is there for the cash prize? You bet your bottom dollar I do. Do I think that every single person who auditioned to be on this season saw the notoriety and success of last season and that is in the back of their mind? I believe so. It's like when people audition to be a housewife. You know what this will do for you overall. However, I've always been someone, like, there's so many things to take issue with. Take issue with Huda saying she's a girl's girl, and then in the confessionals calling them everything but a child of God. Take issue with Jeremiah being like, I am so infatuated with you and enamored with you, and then being like, oh, I'm going to drop her like a sack of potatoes. Take issue with Ace just being an attractive man from Los Angeles. Like, that's one thing. I've been talking to a lot of my girlfriends who were married and some were in long-term partnerships, and they're like, yeah, Ace is such an incel, and like Ace hates women, and I hate having to take up for a straight man during Pride as a bisexual woman. However, I think people are forgetting that in certain regions and cultures of the US, you are going to act and move and navigate and operate differently. The man was on Jennifer Hudson's show and has over 1 million followers on TikTok.
He came in with clout.
If you don't think he is used to women prioritizing him and flocking to him, and that's what we are seeing in these interactions, like, I do, if we are going to think piece it, which, Lord, please don't do it. I just want us to take a little time to do some research on like how folks are moving and operating. Like, for example, the Serena Cordell fight last year, every single person was like, Oh, that's just a black woman going off. Like that's just her. She's gonna get out of her system. She'll be fine. Let that happen. But I just think people are in like such a rush to get like the first takeoff without being like, okay, do we all remember how we were in our early to mid 20s? And would we like that to be archived and broadcasted to the entire world?
I also am Team Ace. Sorry. Like, I don't know. I'm Team Ace because I don't think that he's not wrong. He's clocked it. Jeremiah came on there for the money. They're not exploring. If y'all love each other so much, get the fuck off the show. Simple. They closed off too early. What I do like that he is exploring. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
We are still on week 2. So it's just like, while I want him to scoop up Shelly and be serious and take her away from Austin, at the same time, we're still only on week 2. And if he doesn't want Shelly, he doesn't have to want Shelly. I don't really have a problem with him like leading the way. Him and Nick were straight up about it too. Like, I hate when people do something and then they're kind of like, they don't really want to speak up for it. They're kind of shysty about it. Ace and Nick took Jeremiah and said, hey, this is how we're feeling, and told Huda the same thing, even though, like, you know, like, they were just straight up about why they voted the way that they did. And I like that they're straight up about it. I like that they're playing the game. I like that. One thing about it, when Nick gets a chance to kiss Alendria, he's going to kiss Alendria. Like, and me too. Like, I
me
like
who doesn't?
Exactly. Like,
who doesn't?
About
when Taylor said, "Oh, I just don't feel any type of physical attraction,"
let her go. That's why I was just like, let her
go ahead and free yourself. To quote the great Fantasia, go ahead and free yourself. If we tried to get Taylor off the villa, everybody in America tried to get Taylor off of the villa, because in the same vein that Jeremiah is there for money, I believe Taylor is there for money. Now, for those who don't know, a person alleging to be his ex-girlfriend put,
I didn't know that,
what, you know, they have stated are screenshots from Taylor saying, hey, I got selected to do the show. I'm going to do it to quote unquote advance my modeling career. But just know, when I get back, I am choosing you.
What does she look like? Interesting.
I don't remember. I want to say, you know what? I won't even say if she's a woman of color or not, because I do not remember. I'm leaning towards she is a woman of color, but a lighter skinned woman of color. And like, y'all don't quote me on it, but there's just too many people who are like trying to get the fame and success without understanding the fame and success of last season is because people were in there acting a plum full season 6. We saw some real nitty gritty, authentic things last season. I also think last season was better because there was a lean towards the mid to later 20s, where this is more like early to mid. And I can always be like, Janae had serious relationships before Kenny. Serena had a serious relationship like before Cordell. So I think there was like a little bit more of maturity and having to like navigate through like dating multiple people, or, you know, like some uncomfortable dialogues and conversation where everybody kind of feels like, oh, you know, like, oh, like it feels very handoffish, especially from the girls. And I'm just like, for what is the purpose? It's kind of like in Housewives where you have the like OG icon and like you don't want to like fall out of favor with them because then you feel like you're going to get cast off the show or not go on a cast trip.
Right. But why are we tiptoeing around these then?
I need people to understand, even if you've watched reality TV, which I assume every Islander has, this is a different type of game. So they're kind of doing this like loyalty to the OGs. Kenny wasn't an OG. Miguel was an OG. Nicole wasn't an OG. Like,
right.
You can spice it up. And I don't kind of like how Huda already is like, Irish is shady. Irish is this. And I'm like, as we've said, there's still Casa Amor. There's still more people coming in.
We are in the, like, that was a point where we were in the second week. That's the crazy part. And for her, like, I really wanted to take her ass and like scrap her back down, because why are you bending your spine to turn all the way around to see what this man is doing? That is what really puts me off. I don't talk about like outside of like the kid thing. Like, I'm not gonna speak on her kid. I think all that is weird. I didn't know that was going on. But as far as what she's doing on screen, I'm absolutely gonna comment on that. So she definitely needs to get that shit together. But at the same time, Jeremiah ain't shit either. So I'm just like, well, maybe they should be together. I'm just having this. I just had this realization that they're both not shit, and maybe they should be together. But I don't want them to win the money. So go ahead.
They're cool giving them the money. Like
Go away.
We're too smart as like media consumers to be like, oh, they really are in there for it. But I kind of want someone to be like, hey, maybe we needed like an Amish person on the cast who could read what day it is by the sun outside. It is June. They're going to be in there July and early August. So like everyone acting that like, oh, we're about to walk off the villa right now.
Right.
Y'all have weeks. There's a reason why the girls are in protective styles. Y'all have a July 4th challenge. I mean, we don't have a Juneteenth challenge. Also, there's no way they could have done that. Like, I don't. Actually, I don't even want to know. We could have done a Pride one. I mean, low-key, Shelly and Sierra didn't give us a Pride one. Like,
hallelujah.
People have forgotten you're going to be here for a couple more weeks and months, mama. So you might as well explore, because America gets bored easily. And we're like,
hey guys, like you're losing the plot. So, okay, right before in a few hours, they will be doing another recoupling. I don't really like this. I wanted them to like simmer in, like maybe for 2 more days, simmer in the couple that you're in right now.
Yeah.
But what can you predict? Let that be the last thing that we speak on. What do you predict is going to happen at this recoupling from what we're seeing in previews and what we saw over the last few days?
Okay, my prediction, which is halfway rooted in research, because I feel like I'm one of the few people who actually reads whenever like the executive producer talks about like story producing and how they capture and edit and catch footage for content.
The behind the scenes, like the making of it all, making the band. Well, no, not making the band.
No, not in this.
Unwrapped.
There we go. So every episode we get, it's like there's a 24 to 48 hour like delay because they're like having to, which is why they have the off day. So I think from that perspective, they probably looked at the data from the votes and then all the data that they get from that Love Island USA app, because also, mind you, they are looking at the data, but the producers can't tell the contestants about the data. And I think we have the recoupling because they've realized, oh, this is saying that the couples are complacent and stagnant and people are getting annoyed. When you see the 1 thumb, the 2 thumb, the 3 thumb, or like the happy smile or the down smile. So I think that they're intentionally recoupling to try to break it up, because the thing is, last year, Love Island USA was the #1 watch show in America. If those numbers start to decrease, and also that ad money starts to decrease because people stop watching, they have to do something to spark it up. The last point, Peacock is still casting for Bombshells, y'all. They are still casting. I think they have one in Atlanta. Didn't they just have one in Miami, if I'm wrong?
They did.
That got rained out. So my prediction is like we are going to see these consistent recouplings until they get some type of like trend in their data that's like, oh, people like it in the villa. We've like hit a good consensus. Right now, I think the people behind the scenes are kind of like, oh, there must be something that we aren't privy to as consumers, where they're like, ooh, we have to keep on shaking it up because they don't like these current couples.
Okay, so who gonna choose who?
Um, oh yeah, because the boys are choosing this time, right? I think Nick is going to go with Sierra. I do not believe that they are endgame, but I think they are comfortable.
Okay.
I think Jalen obviously is going to go for Alondra the Stallion, because who wouldn't? I believe that Ace is going to go for Shelly. I believe that to be true.
But if Austin picks first, what do we think? Because Austin seems like he's getting. Oh, I'm just getting pissed, man.
Here's the thing: I saw in like the little sneak peek that Austin picked up when it was flirtatious towards Amaya. I think that Austin and Maya could be a nice kind of safe place for them to kind of like decompress for everything. I would like to see that happen. Yeah. Now, as we all know, I do not agree with Austin's political views, so don't take that open the door. But I would love that Ace with Shelly and Austin with Amaya. I don't think that Pepe wants to be partnered with Hannah anymore. Like after like witnessing, the great crash out of 2025, I don't think his little Peter Pecker wood is getting wet, but I think he will do so out of convenience to like stay. Jeremiah,
he's going to pick Huda.
He's going to pick Huda. I do think Huda could reclaim favor if Huda was like, no, because also then we have another bombshell inheriting their BS because they're not being clear. I would rather prefer a Jeremiah Iris. I would rather he stand 10 toes down and explore, because if he is a smart scammer, which most light-skinned men are.
They are. They're really good at that.
Listen. One thing a light-skinned man with some light eyes will take is your money, your steel, your soul, and your credit. If he was smart, he will go with Iris and ride out the wave. And I think I hit everyone. That's what I'm putting in right now. We'll see in a couple hours.
Yes, we will. I am so happy to chat shop with you about this show. I love you so much. So I want to know, tell me about these 2 books that you're writing. Tell me about how we can support you, and tell us where we can find you.
Well, I love you so much. So my 2 books, the first book is an illustrated retrospective of Beyonce's career. So from present day to when she first discovered her singing talent as a little girl in Houston. So that book is scheduled to come out spring 2026. So next year for graduation season, that'll come out. And obviously
get your coins together. That's about what, like $1 a month right now. Like,
hey,
get your coins together. I know I will be getting it.
The way I'm not going to happy hours to write these books for y'all, please do so.
It's a Beyoncé book. That's all you had to say. That's it. So the second one, I'm sold. You didn't have to. I was going to obviously support it anyway because, you're my cousin. But the fact that it's about Beyonce, that's all you had to say. So what is the second one about? Or is this one that you can't talk about?
No, both of them have been publicly announced, so there's no single coming. The second book, the working title is Girl Please, and it is the history of Black women on reality TV.
Period.
And it tracks how when we lost all the Black TV shows in the late 90s and early 2000s, that's when you saw Black women on reality TV come into the zeitgeist, and they're the reason why we have Black scripted shows today. So you can't have Forever on Netflix without Real Housewives of Atlanta, because that success of that show showed that networks and streamers, that the Black consumers want Black TV. So those 2 books I'm working on. I have a monthly column in Time magazine that comes out once a month, actually. In fact, if y'all are old newsstands people, if y'all actually buy, magazines, which we all should, I am in the upcoming issue that will hit newsstands on June 23rd. I'm like trying to find it.
June 23rd, y'all. That is literally the day before Ironheart comes out. That's Monday.
Yeah, Black Excellence twice this week. I'm trying to
exactly. That's Monday. So be ready, because we're also going to link it below in the description so you can be ready.
Here we go. In this.
The View, So Long, Song of the Summer, in Time. Isn't that crazy that you are in like such an iconic like magazine, but regularly? Like, do you ever
Uh-huh.
like I know that you knew that you would be successful, but like do you ever just like sit back and be like, damn, I really did my big one?
This is gonna sound like very cliche, but I also come from a praying family. It's really an answered prayer. Like I didn't go to school for journalism or writing. I went to school to be a social worker. And
Mm.
I loved being a social worker, but I also love writing. So it's a joy that I am able to have an apartment based off of my love and people who believe in me. And I will say that the success of the second book came because I wrote about Love Island USA last year in Time. Love Island USA made me believe in love again, and that went viral. So I do have to say that folks like you, my cousin, and Kendrick, and Aaron, and Gibson, who is our white cousin, really do.
Gibsonoma. I love calling him Gibsonoma,
I
but
love
Gibson
Gibson.
Johns.
Really
Love.
helped.
He's on. That's my network mate. Finally, that he's
I
come
saw.
over. Love
Yeah,
that.
y'all got the dream team over there, the Olympic team, but it's great. And also things like that are sweet, and receiving like a shirt or note from Beyonce is sweet. But it's really more when like people read my writing and they're like, oh, I love this. So
Yeah, I love the way that you string together words so beautifully. That like I'm just like it takes me to another world because I love the care that you put into your pieces, and also the fact that we're writing about things that it's not just pain. Obviously you call out, you know, what you see. Obviously you have to talk about these things as a Black woman. It just comes natural to you, but you also talk about the joy in that and give us our credit as a people. And I just am so proud of you, and I'm so glad to have found you and have you in my life. And I thank you for coming on the podcast.
anytime,
Y'all
baby.
make sure you follow Taylor. I'm going to put everything that you need below if you are watching this or if you're listening. There's a lot of y'all are listeners, okay? But you know, when you go on Spotify, you go on Apple, make sure that you are following and keeping up with Taylor. And also, Jose Cuervo, if you are listening to this, give this bisexual woman a sponsored little column, like a little session, a little something for Pride Month, for Love Island USA Time, for something, for getting threads, even you threads. You do something. You stand up and you put some money on that, period. Okay? And we're acting a fool because we only have about what, 2.5 more hours, and then we have Love Island USA. So thank you for spending the Wednesday episode with me Tuesday evening. I love you so much, and I love you listening. I will be back Thursday because I'm annoying y'all. Download you 5 stars, y'all. Love you. Bye.